Have you ever gotten a feeling that an old object is watching you, or that something invisible changes the air around you, even when everything seems normal? Hi, my name is Ashley. I'm from Asheville, in the interior of North Carolina, and I've always been skeptical about these things like energy, spirit, presence, until an innocent gift from my grandmother completely changed the way I see the world. I like old things, keeping memories, family objects. I never thought something so seemingly beautiful could carry something so heavy. This story isn't about hearing noises in the middle of the night or watching horror movies with the lights off. It's about living real terror in your own home, in front of your mother with a butterfly brooch that seemed harmless, but wasn't. And the most bizarre thing? I wasn't the only one who saw it. If you also feel that certain things shouldn't be with us, this story might make you think twice before accepting any family heirloom. Seriously, listen to the end. Then tell me if you can still look at a simple trinket the same way. At the time, I was in my second year of high school. My routine was pretty common. School in the morning, lunch with my mother, homework, and in the evening, sometime watching a series or reading something. We lived in an old two-story house on a quiet street here in Asheville. Nothing special. The kind of place where you know your neighbor by name and hear the garbage truck on Tuesdays. It was during one of those Sunday lunches that my grandmother came to visit us. She loves to bring back memories from her time, and that day, she arrived with a small blue velvet box in her hands. Inside, there was a golden butterfly brooch with small purple enamel details. It was beautiful. It looked like it had come from a European antique shop. She said she had kept it for years, but didn't remember exactly who she had inherited it from. She thought it would look beautiful on me, and I, of course, was enchanted. I put it on right away and wore it the next day to school. At that moment, it was just a pretty gift from Grandma. Nothing more. But looking back now, it seems that's when everything started to go wrong. The first time something strange happened, I thought it was just my mind playing tricks. I was in the school hallway, heading to biology lab, when I felt a strange chill as if someone had run past me. I turned around the reflection, and there was no one. Okay, old school cold hallway. I let it go, but then other things started. In my room, at night, I would hear a ticking sound like an old clock, but we didn't have any at home. The sound came from inside the wardrobe. I even opened it to see if it was some forgotten device, but there was nothing. And the brooch, it was there, pinned to the collar of my coat. Still, or almost. Once, I woke up with it on the pillow next to me. I swear I had left it on the dresser. It was only when my friend Ryan commented on something strange that the doubt turned into an alarm. He looked at me, kind of serious, and asked, "Ashley, did you see a woman in a dark dress following you during recess?" I laughed, of course, but inside, something went cold. I hadn't seen anything. But suddenly, I started to wonder, should I have? After what Ryan said, I started to pay closer attention. He wasn't the type to make things up, and the way he spoke, kind of pale, without joking, made me uneasy. I asked him what he had seen exactly. He said that, for a second, he thought it was a teacher passing behind me, but that the woman was strange, still, pale, and she disappeared when he blinked. That same night, I tried to forget, but then my mother came into my room with a strange look on her face. "Ashley, where did you get that brooch?" I explained that it was from Grandma, and she kept looking at me, kind of scared. She said that afternoon, alone at home, she had heard footsteps in the hallway, slow, heeled footsteps, and when she turned to look, she saw a female figure standing in the kitchen doorway. Just for a moment, she thought she was going crazy, until she realized that the footsteps always came when the brooch was nearby, and only after I brought it home. We looked at each other in silence, that tense silence that only exists when two people realize at the same time that they're dealing with something they don't understand, and worse, that it might be real. After that conversation with my mother, everything seemed to fall apart. The brooch, which I used to wear with pride, started to stay in the drawer. But even so, things continued to be strange. Noises started to happen more frequently. Not just footsteps. Now they were whispers, disconnected phrases, as if someone was trying to speak, but underwater and always around 3 a.m. One night, my bedroom door opened by itself. It wasn't the wind. I saw the doorknob turn. My mother started sleeping with the bedside lamp on, and she confessed that when she passed by my room, she felt a chill, as if she was being watched. We started researching the origin of the brooch. My grandmother said it might have come from an antique auction many years ago, but she didn't remember well. Someone had given it to her, maybe my great-aunt's sister. That's when we found an old photo at the bottom of the box. A woman wearing the same brooch. Her face seemed familiar, not because she was a relative, but because it was identical to the description Ryan had given. Dark dress, fixed eyes, and that same butterfly brooch pinned to her collar. That night, the power went out for the first time since we moved into the house. Everything went completely silent, as if the air had been sucked out of the room. I was in my room, with the brooch locked in a small box, inside the drawer. Suddenly, I heard my mother scream. I ran to her room and found her sitting on the bed, panicked, pointing at the closet door. She was trembling, trying to speak. When I managed to calm her down, she said in a weak voice, "It was her, Ashley, the woman standing here, next to the mirror. I saw her." It was the first time she confirmed, in no uncertain terms, that she was seeing the same thing Ryan had described. Not knowing what to do, I picked up the brooch with a cloth, put it in a glass jar, and took it to the backyard. I buried it. I thought that would solve it. But even before covering the hole, I heard that ticking sound coming from my room. The brooch was still inside, or something connected to it. The feeling was clear. She didn't want to leave. And now, she knew we knew about her presence. The next day, I woke up with my face wet with sweat and the room cold, as if it were the middle of winter. The drawer where I had locked the brooch was open and empty. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just froze. My mother suggested we take the object to a church, but I didn't even know where it was anymore. I thought it had disappeared for good. It was only a week later that I found it inside one of my school notebooks, as if it wanted me to take it with me. That's when I made a decision. I took a wooden box, filled it with coarse salt, put the brooch inside, and sealed it with electrical tape. I stored it on top of the laundry room cabinet, where no one touches it. Since then, things have become more silent. I don't know if it's over. I don't know if it's just dormant. Sometimes when I pass by the laundry room, I feel that same chill down my spine. And from time to time, I still hear the ticking sound coming from nowhere. I don't have the courage to open the box. And honestly, I think it's better this way. To this day, I wonder what that really was. If it was an entity attached to the brooch, or if the object only served as a bridge to something that was already there, waiting to be noticed. After everything that happened, my view of the supernatural completely changed. It's no longer a question of believing or not. It's a question of feeling and respecting. My grandmother never knew anything. I thought it was better not to tell her. It wasn't her fault, and she probably had no idea what she was passing on. But I learned the hard way that not everything beautiful should be kept close. Some memories carry more than just longing. Today, the brooch remains locked away, and I continue living, trying to maintain normalcy, but always with an eye on the details that many people ignore. Because what really scared me wasn't seeing that woman. It was realizing that she was already there before I noticed, and maybe she still is. Now tell me, what if I had never accepted that gift? If I had left the brooch in the box, forgotten at the bottom of my grandmother's drawer, would none of this have happened? Or would she have found another way to appear? After everything, I keep thinking, how many old objects are out there, passing from hand to hand, carrying stories that no one knows? And more importantly, how many of these stories are still active, waiting for someone curious enough to restart them? Have you ever had a similar experience? A family item, an inherited or found object by chance, that seemed too strange to be just a coincidence? If so, share in the comments. I swear I read everything. And who knows, your story might be the next report here on the channel. Oh, and if you think all of this is just imagination, try paying attention to the small noises in your house tonight, especially if you have something old nearby. You might see that what happened to me isn't that uncommon. Creative closing. And now, if you've made it this far, I have just one more warning. Ghosts don't let this video die in oblivion. Otherwise, the brooch might end up in your drawer. So take the opportunity to like, comment, and of course, subscribe to the channel. Because here, each report can be the key to unraveling something that shouldn't have been found. Activate the bell, because you never know when the next story will knock on your door or turn the doorknob by itself. See you in the next report. Or, who knows before that. Until then, pay attention to the details. I end speech bubble.